Did somebody say WeeaBoots? Because I think I just heard someone say WeeaBoots. Hey, and welcome to another episode of the WeeaBoots podcast. We got the full cast here today, which is Jay. Hey, Jay.
What's up, my niggas?
We got Bob.
I'm here too.
And Jeff. We could be lying.
Squeal, fangirl, squeal!
We could be lying for all they know. We're just gonna lie saying you're here.
Really
What's that, Jeff? Oh, Jeff
out.
said that he loves this anime.
I'll just be the shy character.
We'll talk to Jeff and he'll cry, then we'll ignore Jeff and he'll cry some more. But yeah, in this episode we're going to talk about Terror in Resonance, the whole series. We're doing a review, and Barakamon. But first we're going to talk about if anybody followed up with the stuff we reviewed in episode 1, which you may remember, Blue Spring Ride, Nozaki-kun, and Akame ga Kill. So, hey, who the fuck watched more of that shit? Because it isn't me, because I'm a loser, and god damn it, I should have been watching Nozaki-kun.
There was too much destiny in there.
There was! Fuck just... In any case, this isn't a game podcast.
Oh, really?
In my normal Oh, no, it can be a game podcast. Let's shit on Dust for the next 20 minutes.
Start it dead. We need to move on.
Okay,
We did
fine.
that yesterday.
Yeah, that's kind of... I wouldn't describe it as shitting on, but people didn't take it well, so...
Okay.
So who watched more of what? Like, Bob, did you watch any more of any of it?
I finished Nozaki-kun and I watched more of Akame ga Kill, but not all of it that's out.
And I'm assuming you dropped Blue Spring Ride as soon as that podcast.
Completely ignored that.
Okay. I watched almost all of Monthly Girl Nozaki-kun. Had my internet not crapped out of me while I was trying to watch the last episode. I watched all but the last 5 minutes of the last episode, so I don't know how well that came to a close. I saw...
He comes on a fucking murder spree.
Right? Seriously, just like complete non sequitur, like batshit crazy ending.
He's like,
ever.
I didn't write you like that. And pulls out a gun and starts killing people.
But yeah.
Probably not,
Akame ga
probably.
Kill and Blue Spring Ride, I think I got 9 episodes into each of those.
Okay.
And before I just dropped both of them.
So from what you watched, what do you guys think of the rest of those series? Because, you know,
I really like
Jeff-
Nozaki-kun. Like, that was definitely one of my favorites of the season.
I definitely enjoyed Nozaki-kun. I probably didn't enjoy it as much as Bob did. Because Nozaki-kun I was very lukewarm towards in the beginning.
Yeah.
Past the first podcast, I definitely got to enjoy it a hell of a lot more. And yeah, like I think it had just, you know, it definitely got a lot better after that, and it just kind of stayed there. And it was good enough for me to continue watching, and like I actually plan on picking it up whenever Sentai releases the Blu-ray of it. So
Cool.
yeah.
Damn it, now I just remembered Watamote is out on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Need to work, shitty job, need money.
Right?
For shit I don't actually need.
No, Dad, you need this.
Very
Oh,
safe.
he makes a good point. I do need this.
Yeah,
It's a responsibility.
I heard from
as an
the
adult.
only other person who's as huge of a fan of Watamote as myself, that the Nendroids they made of it are insanely expensive now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sold through it apparently, and now it's like $80.
Oof.
Shit. Those things are always super fucking expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I think they start at 40 or so
Yeah,
typically.
they start. He said it was 30, and then it hit 85.
God, I thought the friggin' Zetsubo Sensei ones were fucking pricey.
And that's the only Nendroid I've ever wanted. Because
Right.
there's something important in that character. There's some darkness that we must all gaze into to be aware.
Yeah. So, Bob, Akame ga Kill.
I think it says something that I haven't been able to put aside
Jeff,
the time
Let's
to
talk about the real issues.
continue.
Do you like bacon?
Yeah,
continue it any farther past, like, I think
I
episode
like
9.
bacon too.
Oh yeah, like
That's why
so
that
you
piece
stopped
is-
around the same point I did.
Yeah, they seemed like they just got back to what they were originally doing.
Yeah, like
And-
okay, spoilers. They fucking kill Captain Bravo. I don't remember his real name. Captain Bravo, and at
About
that-
when? Just out of curiosity. about
episode 8, I think.
what? Okay, so not too long after when we stopped watching. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
right,
stopped at
yeah.
5.
Yeah, because
And maybe I got to 10 or so. I don't remember.
Okay, go ahead, but continue.
yeah.
I was just trying to get, like, is this a series ender?
I
or-
honestly couldn't.
No, not
Like,
at all.
when they killed him off, I was like, did they really kill him? Because it wasn't a super violent death like they gave everyone else.
And it was kind of ambiguous for a while. Like, it was just like, I didn't actually think he died. And I was like, oh, he is dead. Well, shit. Okay, never mind.
I guess that works.
That happened.
Hey, Jeff, do you like Smash Bros?
But,
I like Smash Bros.
but
Bring
yeah,
it with me on my trip. And
I guess that's-
forgot, and I was really
Yeah,
that's all I
like-
have to say about
That's
that.
horrible.
It's
Yeah,
not-
Just on-
like,
in the
I-
road, Nietzsche Joe face.
I hate that. I'm going to
And I was
skull
gonna
fuck
put
him.
Barakamon on
Well,
my
what?
cheek, so I could watch that on the trip. And then I
Hey, what does that have to do with a
company?
Kami got killed?
Well, you see,
I stopped paying attention to you two. What's happening?
Kami got kill is violence porn, and it makes you want
Okay.
to enact violent pornography on Dan's skull.
Just like Call of Duty, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
And this
Boom.
isn't even just other people's. This is my skull. 10 million copies are sold a year of a game that is propaganda to tell people to fuck my skull with their saw dick. And welcome to the WeeaBoots podcast. Do
yeah.
you guys have any closing comments on those?
Yeah, just like I could not deal with a Kami got killed. I didn't like it initially. I kind of learned to have some sort of appreciation for it, but like it never got. It never went full retard enough. Like, it was really stupid, but it never went far enough into that realm of stupidity where I was just like, okay, series, good, you know, like,
seems
I
like
am
it-
on board. But no, like, it tried to be way too melodramatic. And, like, I tried to view it in the context as I said in one of my videos on my channel, that I was going to try and view it as, like, an American exploitation film. Just,
Yeah.
you know, like, a little extremely over the top and violent and a little preachy and just, you know, and heavy-handed with messaging, but I couldn't because it was just it never got over the top enough. It was just violent and just stupid, and I couldn't appreciate anything it was doing. Blue Spring Ride, like I was, Jeff and I were the biggest advocates of that one, and
Yeah.
you know, so I think Jeff and I pretty much had the same opinion of it last time, and I just. It just spun its wheels, and I just got tired of its shit. And I love those type of shows. Like that show should have been like my bread and butter. I should have been totally down for that. And no, I was just like like I said, like by episode 9, I was just like, God, I don't fucking care anymore. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I am done. I'm gonna go
you
watch.
two fuck? No? Okay, then fuck both of you.
God, like you
What,
know.
are you gonna go watch?
Shit, I think I ended up watching.
Battle of Gods. That's a way better emotionally delivering movie than
In some
Blue
ways.
Spring Ride. Yeah.
But yeah, just I think I ended up watching Black Butler Book of Circus, but
okay.
yeah, because I ended up watching like I think 9 animes this season, which I usually don't even watch one, so the fact that I watched fucking 9 is crazy.
It is.
That's probably more than I watched this season, just because of Destiny. Sorry, well, stop bringing it up.
Every time you say that, Dan like makes a list of a puppy he needs to murder after this podcast.
The great thing is Jeff has the same experience with Destiny too. Like, what level were you when you
20.
just said fuck this?
Less than 20, but I wanted to see the end of the story, and that never really happened.
It's funny, you're asking for an end to something that never really began.
Yeah.
That game's incredible. But-
So Terror in Resonance.
yeah, let's move on to Terror and Resonance. Okay. Let me pull out my notes. I have
first we
notes
should
for what to
introduce-
say about it. But yeah, Bob, give us a cat. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll do it. Hey, the director is Shinichiro Watanabe, which you should all know from Cowboy Bebop and Shampoo. The composer, which Bob didn't write down, is Yoko Kanno,
Right.
also from Cowboy Bebop.
Yep.
And Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. We have the original creator is, once again, Shinichiro Watanabe, apparently.
Yeah.
This was his idea. Though he wasn't the writers. There
Right,
were
he
4
wasn't the
writers,
script
none of which
writer.
was him. He was the original creator, though, so this is his idea for a series. And you can kind of tell it comes from that. But in any case, and then animation production was done by MAPPA, which is they did TQ, which is a TV series, and Kids on the Slope, which is another TV series.
Which is also another Shinichiro Watanabe series.
Yeah,
Oh,
what Kids
okay.
on a Slope is.
I still haven't
TQ
watched
is a
that.
3-minute series.
Did that have Yugi Kanno? Wait,
Yes.
what's her name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yoko Kanno.
Yoko Kanno.
Yeah.
What, Terror and Resonance or
No,
Kids on the Slope?
I
Did?
like Kids on the
Uh-huh.
Slope.
Yeah, Kids in the Slope had an
Oh, okay.
amazing jazz soundtrack by her.
Cool. So
awesome
okay,
if you like jazz, otherwise
Right.
everyone hated that show.
Right.
so here I go. I'm gonna try to summarize this series with, at first, as little spoilers as possible, and as we delve into discussing it, we will spoil whatever we need to do that. So if you're looking for a spoiler-free anime review podcast, you're listening to the wrong one. Sorry. In any case, so it is a series about two kids, about 16, 17, named 9 and 12, who come from a weird internment camp background, and in the first episode, they are seen stealing something from a facility. And as the series goes on, they are terrorists. They are blowing up buildings that every time are conveniently evacuated by their own machinations. Like, oh, we sounded the fire alarm. No one was there. We blew up a building and no one died. And a lot of things go into them doing this. And they keep committing these acts of terrorism. And the police are trying to find them and figure out what's up. And they keep putting out challenges and riddles via YouTube to the police. Now, this is the concept for the first 4 solid episodes. So you get this vibe where there is the main police detective who's smart enough to solve these riddles, who used to be a really hardened cop trying to get to the truth, but he went too far and they put him in archives to punish him. He's smart enough to figure this out. I would love, like, the great thing is people listening to this are like, no, this guy is just, like, he's reading a fake description of a show. No show is this much trope. But in any case, so he's the guy who can figure it out, and he starts having a mind battle, basically, with 9 and 12 for the first 4 episodes, where he's solving these riddles and trying to fix all these problems and shit like that, as they continue to blow up different facilities and cause more terrorist acts with unknown motivation. That is the plot for the first 4 episodes, and then it just fucking becomes Death Note because another fucking child from this internment facility is gonna get her revenge on 9.
Yeah.
Because 12's the nice one, and 9's the
Yeah.
edgy one. I told Bob her name should have been 5. Her name should have been 7, and the end of the series should be her eating 9. That would have made that top shelf anime. I would be recommending that for the rest of time. Because in episode 11, she eats him. And you're just like, this is horrific. And only a week later, after you're over the trauma, do you go, 7, 8, 9.
Good one, Nabe. You got me.
Oh, you joker.
If this were Nabe-shin, that would have been...
Yeah.
Jesus.
Obviously, we got the wrong Watanabe on this series.
Clearly. So some of the other characters... Someone other than me read these descriptions.
I got these descriptions from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
so-
Okay, fine.
Okay,
You know
so
what?
the most important character I haven't brought up is Lisa Mishima, who is a girl in the same school that 9 and 12 transfer into for 1 episode. They are never seen at school again past the first episode, and her problematic life, both at home and school, leads her into their world and changes her fate forever. Thank you, Wikipedia. That is a fucking golden way to phrase that. Does anyone
She's
want...
bad at cooking. You didn't mention that part.
Oh, she tries to fit in with them because they basically take care of her because she has a cold and ran away from home because her mother's fucking crazy and so is she. Like, they both clearly have mental problems. Mm-hmm. Her mother can't deal with the anxiety of the threat of her leaving, and she can't deal with her mom constantly being violently abusive and emotionally abusive over that fear. And so she runs away from home, and the cops stop her for 1 second. They're like, hey, what are you doing out here? And then 12 is so sugoi as he rides up on his motorcycle, and he's like, come on, babe. Man, it would be such a better series if 12 said, come on, babe. Instead, he's like, come on. And then they drive off, and she's like, I think I love you because you're convenient. And he's like, yeah, you do.
All right. So
All true facts.
Any other... I don't think anybody else in the series is really important.
Well,
There's Kurahashi, the guy above the main detective, which we didn't name. The main detective's name is Shibazaki. Mm-hmm. And yeah, his superior Kurahashi is... I don't want to... Somebody else take over talking.
I mean, he's just a generic
he's
superior police officer.
Yeah, he's just the chief of police.
You gotta ring it in. Turn in your badge and gun.
Yeah, like
he says those phrases.
Yeah, like he has that whole spiel. Like basically, he's kind of the puppet of the FBI. Once the FBI starts getting involved, and makes the Japanese police pull away from the case. So he's kind of just being their pawn in that shit, and Shibazaki ain't gonna have none of that shit. Okay, I think we've done enough of
describing it.
Yeah, describing. I think they pretty much get the goddamn just.
So to really set up what's going to be most of my description, most of my discussion, and open this up for everyone to talk about, and you can go right back to talking. I'm just gonna say. So what happens in episode 4 and 5 is this 5 bitch, is the head of a fucking spy agency from the U.S. that has come over to deal with the terrorism solution because they're trying to cover up some shit, basically. They're trying to get information. They're trying to get information to expose the Japanese government for doing something. And the shit she does while in charge of this unit is completely unreasonable. She blows up a train with people on it. She blows up a $352 million plane, all to challenge them mentally, while simultaneously having very direct observational understanding of where they are and where they could send people to kidnap them.
Yep.
And the last tidbit, this all occurs, this shift in the series tone, this shift in what it is about, happens when 9 and 12 and Lisa show up at an airport to run around like idiots to simulate a chess battle with her because she has divided the airport up into a chessboard. Now, how 2 people can represent every piece on a chessboard is, not even my concern. But they actually say that this airport has 1,500 cameras. And halfway through this whole episode that is dedicated to this, they keep walking in all of the blind spots. Because they have terrible English for all of the Americans. Which, I almost forgive them for 5, right? Like, she was raised in Japan till the age of 7 or 10, and then she went to America. No, she wouldn't be that bad at English after 8 years. That young, she wouldn't. But I'm going to give them a pass. Maybe they disagree with me on that. I will permit that.
Right.
But all of the American agents also sound like shit.
Yeah, like, I wasn't too bothered about the American agents because they kept them to very simple... Like 3-word sentences for most of the screen time they have, but then they fuck up and they give them like a couple of full sentences, and that's when it really becomes apparent just how bad their English really is. Because up until that point, 5 is the only one that really had like any longer English spoken sentences. So at first I was like, okay, well, she's the foreigner, so that makes sense, whatever. But once the Americans started having longer sentences, I was just like, especially like that one dude who works, that one American agent. Clarence. Yeah, like once, which I don't think you put him on there.
I didn't.
He's not a character.
He's so minor.
There's nothing important in his character. He lets her fuck shit up, millions of dollars of property damage.
Yeah.
Millions and millions of dollars of property damage, and then somewhere, way too late in the game, he's like, okay, now that we've run over a kid on a motorcycle, now I'm gonna say, hey, maybe you should calm down, bitch.
No.
But he doesn't even say it like
after that. And after shooting a police officer.
Yes.
Yeah, shooting the police officer.
And then she just shoots him, and it's like, could you not see that coming? She didn't fly off the wheel. She was never on it to begin with. This bitch has been crazy since the beginning of this.
You're going to let her blow up an entire airport of people.
And a building and a train.
Yeah.
She blew up all 3 in the course of 3 or 4 days. But in any case, I'm stepping away. You guys talk. I have tons of notes here on what I find wrong with this, but I'm more interested in what you guys think about this. Jeff, you haven't said much. Did you enjoy Terror in Resonance?
Yes. It was entertaining.
Okay.
It was, I got...
I
never know what to say.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to you. Jay, you seem like you really want to talk about this.
All right. For the first 4 episodes, I was really, really digging this series. 5 shows up, I'm still really invested in it. Like, even like, the mental chess games and shit like that, like she's doing all this stuff, it definitely gave me this huge Death Note vibe. And I'm a huge Death Note fag, so I'm like, yeah, go this route. And I do.
And now you understand Sword Art Online fans. Continue.
And well, no, because
they're .hack fags. And
no, actually, they're not. Most of them hate
Actually,
hack.
I had relatives coming in from outside of town, right? And met some old friends from like middle school because of that. And one of them was like, "Oh yeah, I love Sword Art Online. It's like .hack, but they just stopped making .hack, so now here's Sword Art Online. So whatever." And I'm just like, "You, I knew you were real."
Yeah. See, like the ones I see online usually hate .hack because .hack was boring and slow, and Sword Art Online was awesome and perfect.
Okay, but in any case, you were on board with the Death Note vibe of episode 4 and 5.
Yeah,
or
like
whatever.
just I like that whole mental battle shit that they were doing because she really was just because she was like hardcore fucking with them. Like this was just a huge game to her. Now there is some total fucking bullshit with like the fact that the U.S. government is letting her go this far with this. The fact that the Japanese government, like I do like the fact that the FBI agent Clarence is just like, I can't hold the Japanese government off of this case for much longer. Like
that was the like cheapest line because it's like, no, they've let you do everything. They gave you full reign.
They haven't done shit, and you've blown up a train full of people, a fucking airplane.
Well, thing is though,
the building.
Well, thing is, I think that they were trying to play those off as those were Sphinx, yeah.
Which we haven't even said.
Yeah. Sphinx, Sphinx is
Sphinx.
what. Yeah, Sphinx.
Because they, yeah.
Otherwise, it's Egyptian.
Yeah. Sphinx is what 12 and 9 call themselves as terrorists. When they're doing their challenge.
When they have their face masks on and they're doing their YouTube videos that are completely untraceable.
Yeah.
I like their YouTube videos.
Yeah. I thought that was great shit. There is so much I like about this anime, and I overlook a lot of its flaws. I like I said, I like that whole kind of mental battle, that whole kind of taking really intelligent characters and pushing them to their limits. I like that idea. Where I fall off of this series is really the end. Like the ending is when I couldn't keep forgiving.
Okay.
Shit.
So
you mean like
we'll come around to that in a moment, but can we get Bob's comments in sort of the middle ground or overall?
Honestly, I don't think I ever got into the series much. Like,
No.
I started it and I was like, oh, this is going to be like really dramatic and serious.
This is a cop show. And then episode 5, it's like, it's a fucking stupid cop show.
Yeah, basically. Because I get really into some of the like comedy or drama cop show stuff that's, Ghost in the Shell does a lot of it. And I feel like that does it really well.
Yes.
But yeah, when episode 5 hit, that was just the level of, wow, this is really dumb stuff. This is a lot of really dumb
is
stuff.
it really as early as episode 5?
Yeah, it takes that turn at the end of episode 4, and 5 is the beginning of it, because that's when 5 is introduced.
Very abrupt transition too.
It just switched on at episode 5. They were like, fuck it, we need views.
But I mean, even before that, it was too cliche of a cop show. Like we just had the old detective who was out of the game for so long, coming back to solve this case.
Yeah,
who was really good at solving this case.
I feel like if I don't comment on this now, I'm gonna forget.
Okay.
A lot of why I was attached at that moment, because in the first 4 episodes I was enjoying it moderately because of the music, because of the art style, and I felt like maybe it had something to say as a series. The motivation, the goals, and the actions of Sphinx would have, at that point, were still in the air. So knowing how good the series wasn't possible for me at that point, which is why you kind of need to see this whole series to really make judgment. Hell, I saw an Anime News Network review of episode 9 where basically it was like it gave it a B or a B plus or whatever, and they're like, but of course, this needs to deliver on these themes and things if it's going to be good at all, so they better do that, otherwise this would be awful. Right. And they kind of but yeah, no, so yeah, in episode 1 through 4, I'm just sort of like, okay, what's happening? Okay, that's happened. Maybe I'll stick this out, and this will get really interesting in the next few episodes. And then it made that shift.
One more thing I wanted to say about that. I really like they're terrorists and they're just giving out riddles and they're just blowing stuff up, and they come off as really terrible people from that. And yet later in the series they start acting like some groups of young people are idolizing them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, they don't have a message they're sending out even. They're sending out these riddles that are all have to do with Oedipus and stuff, but none of it's actually like something that's means anything more. And they're blowing up places. They're very much just places people use.
Yeah, I mean, the Twin Towers killed a lot of people just like collapsing that weren't in the building.
Yeah, the dust
and yet
debris.
somehow this equally huge building, like huge chunks of it explode out first episode. No one's dead.
Right?
And they're like, thank God it was Sunday and they had parachutes and everyone was at church with their parachutes. Like, it is almost DBZ American version levels of dumb about that.
Oh my God, they blew up the cargo robot. And the cargo was people.
Yeah,
There's my one DBZ Abridged reference for the night.
thank you. You keep that to one.
Hey, if Aggro gets one per podcast of your shit, then I get to pull one. Yeah, he pulls so many that you never notice.
Oh, I noticed.
Oh, okay.
Because he doesn't talk like a human being for like 5 seconds. And I'm like, that was probably a dumb fucking... In any case... Okay, so the thing you were talking about of like the young kids attached to Sphinx because they're terrorists. Because they're terrorists. And so a larger theme of this whole fucking series... Larger theme is sort of the idea of patricide as a revenge for the circumstance that these people have to grow up in. Oedipus is referenced numerous times. Sphinx have sort of painted themselves as that, though they never fully deliver on that. The places they're bombing are places that the people they want who are responsible for the internment camp are at, but they don't kill a single one of them. So there's no real patricide.
Yeah, they're not at. They're just connected to it in some way that's vague that no one who other than them would know.
Yeah, so like the message itself isn't even conveyed by Sphinx. Like in universe, that theme isn't delivered.
Yeah,
You can see Shinichiro sitting down to write this, and he wants to write something that's beautiful and about like this whole patricide thing, the cycle of violence, stuff like that. But not a single part of this is written well enough to really deliver on those themes.
I think he delivered better on that episode of Cowboy Bebop that had the Unabomber.
Yeah.
I can't even remember. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was also the one with, I think his name was Johnny.
Oh, Johnny... Fuck, not... Was it Johnny... No,
Johnny Fucknuts.
Not Johnny Red Cadillac.
Yeah, no. I was trying not to say him.
But the cowboy who was Spike's rival.
Yeah.
For one episode.
My largest problem with the series is like I can forgive the sort of cop tropes things because I thought it was going to deliver on any of the themes it brought up. Like from the first episode. Sorry, Jeff. I totally slapped your knee there.
So angry.
Sorry, Jeff.
So
Here,
gay.
let me rub that. I'll make the pain go away.
Yaoi fangirls rejoice.
All the Fujoshis enjoy. In any case, from the first episode, you can tell that there's a lot of themes about, anti-establishment sort of vibe. There's a lot of fuck the man. There's a lot of patricide sort of themes of, like, killing your forebearers because they fucked you. Like, they have fucked you through negligence. And then more importantly than that, and Bob was next to me when I started noticing this and very out loud just sort of like, fucking, oh my God, are you serious? Like, the first episode is just full of people staring at their smartphones and not seeing shit that's happening right next to them. Like, and the theme of this series is sort of muddled together with that of like, fuck those people who put us in such a shitty scenario, and then the collusion of it also delivers on the whole like, and you ignored other people because of your smartphones. You only paid attention to us because we were available through social media via YouTube and Twitter. All of the actual reaction to them was happening in the Twitter space, which they cut to constantly, of people tweeting like, did you see that? Oh my God, what the fuck? And it's just like in the airport while they're running around like idiots, no one's looking because they're all looking in their cell phones. And it's just like, yeah, that's a cool theme. Could you have delivered on that even with slight amount of craft or deft-handedness. It comes off as fucking sloppy. I'm not an asshole who's gonna be here like fucking old man Watanabe talking about these cell phones, no one paying attention. Fucking idiot. Like, no, just do it in a way that's clever. Don't just be like, people don't look at each other because of their smartphones, man. Let's cause an EMP to destroy it all. Spoilers.
Right.
And, like, that's not a clever way to deal with that theme. Like, there could have been more themes about that, but instead it tries to take up so many things of, like, you know, the cycle of violence. The whole, like, the Americans fucked over Japan in World War II.
Yeah.
So then Japan itself has a broken pride, and that furthers them being violent against themselves with the internment camps and shit like that.
Yeah.
Camp, singular. And then on top of that, it has that whole, like, people being psychologically damaged enough where they can't even support each other and need someone normal to support them individually. Like, the father leaves the mother of Lisa Mishima, and the mother just freaks out on Lisa until she leaves. Like, it's inevitable that nothing will get better for those people. And then it also tries to tackle this idea, this theme of, like, even through it all, 12 has hope for a better tomorrow. Because he tries to pursue this relationship with Lisa. But then they just fucking strap a bomb to her on a Ferris wheel, which is so fucking over the top that it's just like, are you fucking, like, if I were listening to this podcast, my jaw would be dropped right now because I can't believe something could be this much schlock. This thing has as much schlock as Con Air, but it's as self-serious as Standalone Complex.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That is... Wow, Dan, that was a very, very poignant analogy.
I don't have a problem with any of the themes it's trying to bring up. It's just trying, it's like, it's bringing them
so
up.
sloppy.
Yeah, it's InfoWars level of screaming at you while also farting while trying to make points. Like, fucking smartphones, man! And you don't even want to listen because it's like, are you serious? Did you just, in my mouth? I can taste that.
Yeah, I definitely can agree. Yeah, because like by the end of it, it was just like, because there were all these themes, and I was just like, I didn't know what the hell the anime was trying to tell me because it was juggling like at least 5 to 8 themes, and it's like, and it wasn't, not a single one of them was fully fleshed out and realized. Nothing came full circle by the end. Like none of them felt fully realized.
Yeah, it seems less like an arc and more like a bulleted list. It's almost like a dude who's having a 2-hour-long conversation with you about 16 different things, and by the end of it you go, that guy said a lot of stuff about these things, but he didn't really say anything more than you could find out on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I wonder like how much control Watanabe had in this series, because it says like he's the original creator of this concept. So like he
may have dealt out the themes like, we're doing an anime about this, and all these 4 writers are like, shit.
I don't know if I can. How much are you paying me?
It's okay. Episode 5's Death Note, and then it's just Death Note for like 5 more episodes, and then we kill her or something, and then there's a message about fuck tech. Yeah, but then he has an iPhone anyways. Oh, fuck me. What a dick move.
Yeah, seriously.
Real quick. Dickest move in this whole thing. Dude sets off a nuke in the atmosphere to cause an EMP, destroying all the electronics. Keeps his personal iPhone in a giant lead box to keep it safe so he can listen to some sweet jams.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
Like, seriously. We need to disconnect from all this technology, man. Except my iPhone.
My iPhone.
I'm way better.
She can listen, but fuck 12.
Listening to his Icelandic music.
Yeah,
he's such a hipster.
Right? God.
No, it was music from a cold land.
Yeah.
And then he's like, by the way, the music from the cold land, it was Iceland. And then it ends, and you're like, fuck you.
And just Iceland's not even the colder of the two.
Sigur Rós just being like, this is so good. It's speaking straight to my
System
soul.
of a Down?
No, Sigur Rós.
Oh, okay. There's a song by them called Sigur Rós. But what is Sigur Rós?
It's an Icelandic band that hipsters love. I mean, like,
of course, Jeff knows.
I like the band, admittedly, but I mean.
But do you walk around and say, I'm listening to music from a cold land?
No.
I asked him about his dad, and he got all angry.
God, seriously, 9 is such a pretentious, stoic douche. God damn it. And also, let me just, something that really bugged me in the series, and something
real quick, about the stoic thing, because this really, I'm sorry, just keep in mind what you were going to say.
I got it.
So, he's really hellbent. 9's really hellbent this whole series on doing what he's doing. But the ultimate payoff is he did all these things so that way people would pay attention, so that way he can tell them about what the internment camp was. That is so shitty. Like, it's just like, you didn't actually accomplish anything except for drawing attention. You blew up buildings and caused all this damage. Because I'm not going to say I'm in Bob's territory of, like, that makes you a mean man. No, like, Fight Club, they blow up all 7 of those buildings and fucking reset the credit. Yeah, that's fucking awesome. I'm totally down with, like, destruction and terrorism as a fictional idea in order to fix something wrong in the world, but they didn't fix anything. The only thing they did was draw attention so that way they could go, hey buddy, internment camp, listen up.
What bugged me about that is they didn't have a reason. It was basically random bombings.
Yeah.
And they could have just put, like, massive amounts of info about these internment camps in any of those bomb sites, and then the cops find them.
Yeah, but instead, what do? Oh, the cops showed up at the scene this time. We're not going to set off the bomb because we don't want to blow them up. Instead, we're going to leak all these police documents about this ongoing case about us. Not the shit we want to tell you guys.
No.
We're just
after we've already got, like, a massive amount of
info via hacking. Yeah.
Just
because they're all super hackers, of course.
But 5 is an even super hacker.
Of course she is.
Because she can speak English.
I don't think 12 can super anything.
Her incoherence.
Maybe he can super see colors and
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 has that disorder where you can see sound in colors. Yeah. So, like, and the great thing is the anime is, like, it brings that up. But then, like, the way he sees his white feathers flying up when he's on the rooftop, he's hearing the sounds of the city, and it forms this white feathers flowing up. I'm like, that is not how that works.
Right. Lisa's voice is yellow. That was.
Was it yellow?
Yeah, that was his thing.
Okay, I didn't actually catch the color. I just remember him being like, no one has a voice that's the same color as yours, so I like you because brown. Like, it doesn't matter what the color is. At the end of the day, he's like, I like being near you because purple.
Yeah, that sums up that relationship pretty well.
What a deep one. Long-term bond there.
Okay. First off, Lisa is...
Mishima, yeah.
Yeah, she is... First off, I'm disappointed that she doesn't shoot lasers out of her eyes or have a fucking devil mode.
Right.
That was one of the biggest disappointments, and that never happened at any point in this series.
Worst Mishima ever.
Right?
Kazuya should have been 12's boyfriend.
Would have been a much better series.
40-year-old Japanese man with scars on his face, like, oh, 12. You taught me how to love again.
You're so sugoi. But, yeah, Lisa, she is one of the most useless fucking characters, and all of the dialogue surrounding her is just reaffirming the fact that she is useless. And the thing that pisses me off, okay, we were talking earlier about, how there's a lot of themes that aren't like, you know, that they don't really fully, you know, come full circle on. They don't really spend enough time developing these themes to really have the impact by the end.
Right.
They're just kind of thrown out, rough shot, like, you know, like a bullet list, as you said.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the problems with this script, like 11 episodes, I think is enough time to actually get all those themes across. If they hadn't spent so much fucking time regurgitating the same information of, like, Lisa's useless, so we need to get rid of her. But no, I kind of like her, so I don't want to. Oh, but guys, I'm useless. I shouldn't be here. That shit gets repeated so many fucking times. Like, there's so many, like, repeated bits of dialogue that it's just like, yes, I get it. She's fucking useless. You want her gone. She feels guilty, and 12 wants to fuck her. Thank you.
Can you just fuck her and get her out of here?
She ran away like 3 separate times, didn't
right?
she?
Like,
and then every time it was like, don't go chase her. And he's like, but I'm going to go chase her.
Yeah.
And
then he does it. And then he's like, I betrayed 9. It's like, dude, come on. This should have been apparent from you. 6 episodes ago, you should have looked at, every guy has this, your little notebook that says bros before hoes. And then you write down the names of the people and how you prioritize them, and you figure out whether or not you've broken that rule. That shouldn't have surprised you mid-bomb on the Ferris wheel when you're like, oh man, I'm a dick.
I was so happy for the bomb. Like, seriously.
You were just hoping it would go off?
Yeah, if it would have went off, that would have made how useless and shitty Lisa was the whole series. That would have made it worth it.
Yeah, that actually would have delivered. That would have delivered on a theme even.
Yeah.
Because if she eventually caused his death, then that would say something, like, whether or not it's correct, it would have said something about, like, you can't fix broken people, and they'll just drag you down. They need actual serious attention from medical professionals and shit, not you telling her that her voice is purple.
Yeah.
And that would have been interesting and great, but then it didn't happen, and there's so many things in this series are that, where it's just like, oh, they can delete, and there it goes, by opportunity.
They had that awful whole dramatic scene where it's like, oh my god, no one can defuse that many bombs, even the guy who's apparently a bomb savant.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, it's more if he can't defuse that many bombs in that short period of time.
And I mean, just like, it gets down to the last second, and they're just like, oh, whatever.
And then he keeps stopping to tell her that he loves her and shit like that.
Yeah.
Where it's just
honestly,
like...
I would have been so much happier with that scene had that scene ended with him just hanging up on 5. If the last scene, like, just have him hang up on 5, and then you see the explosion and shit, like, wow, that would have been great. I think that would have been, like you said, it would have delivered on a theme. It would have... it would have been a very powerful moment. Even if 5 or
even if 5 got that information from him and then still blew him up or whatever, he would have still delivered on that theme. Yeah,
5, as we've mentioned, was batshit crazy.
Then the FBI just let him go. What was up with that? They just had him in the Ferris. They could have taken him.
He was locked at the top spot. He just tells them a location. They go to the location, don't blow him up, and somehow he gets away.
And for some reason, he tells them the right location. He's just stupid.
And for some
it's
reason,
fucking McDonald's. Look under the Big Macs.
No one expected 9 to go move the bomb after the betrayal. Like, they just show up like, oh, it's gonna
still be here.
I'm jumping ahead a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
But...
No.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're absolutely right, though. But then they see him running around, and they're like, "Oh, shoot him!"
Yeah.
Bang, 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 and then it's like, "Oh, a tiny fence."
Wasn't the thing that was like, "Don't fucking shoot him because he's holding an atomic bomb"?
Right?
Like, fuck. That was just one of those things. I'm like, because whenever he jumped the fence, I was like, well, maybe he doesn't have the bomb. No, he still has the fucking bomb. So I was like, why the fuck would you shoot at him? He obviously still has it. Why would you fucking pull a trigger on a guy with a fucking... Are you trying to level Japan again?
I mean, it was like that had already happened, so in the next episode, when he airlifts it into the atmosphere to blow it up, I told Bob, and they're like, oh, hey, it's up there, just shoot it down. And then they shoot it down, and they're like, fuck.
Yeah, like, that was one of the things that got me is, like, when they send the jets up there, I'm like, what was your plan? Right. Because it's not like you're flying the Batwing where like a little claw comes out and you can like hook the string and fly off with it or some shit.
Right.
And land.
Cockpit just reach out.
Yeah.
Skin is falling off of his arm.
Well, 5 is up there too, so she'll just hack it.
She'll just hack his arm to be better again.
Yeah.
Or out the window, she'll hack the bomb.
Yeah, she'll hack the bomb.
But
she'll just reach out and hack that bomb.
So we've done a lot of bitching. I think we've really got a lot of stuff. A lot of these negatives pretty much
so
stated.
now we need to try to be positive?
There was a few positives
Okay,
here.
What is that at the beginning?
Did we? No. I feel like I just summarized it. Here's this dumb fucking end.
We said we kind of liked it.
Okay, wait. How about this? And check this out. Instead of giving positives about Terror and Resonance, let's balance out the negativity of Terror and Resonance by being negative about Dust and Elysian Tale again. No, I'm just... We seriously got a comment from someone because of our podcast that went up.
I still haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah, if you did, that would scare me. Because it went up like 8 hours ago.
Oh, yeah, I saw it go up, and I went to go see Annabelle instead with James, so...
Oh, okay. So, yeah, okay, positives.
Okay.
Real quick, though.
Yeah, sure. You have not done enough negatives. You get to do whatever.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I've passed my quiet period. I can talk a little bit now.
He's come out of his shell.
Yeah,
Yay!
right? I just have to warm up.
Yeah.
But anyway, one thing I really hated was how the whole time they just keep churching up how much of geniuses everyone is, or at least the 3 of them. But then, like, aside from a few gimmicky things, they never really seem smart. They're just like a bunch of dumb kids who don't really like say like I can program really well, and then whatever the hell 12 does, I don't even know.
Well, okay, check this out. They can use riddles that aren't original, that are just based on lore.
Yeah, that was more
and
like
they can make bombs,
geeky.
which, to be fair, anyone can make a fucking bomb. You just need instructions.
Yeah, like
the only master plan like thing is the first episode.
Yeah, that
it's
was
like
fucking great shit.
The boat hits the fucking power line and disconnects it because they bribed him and shit like that, or blackmailed him or whatever, and that caused the power to go out, which caused these other things. That's mastermindy. Running around an airport and avoiding in a completely impossible manner 1,500 cameras is stupid.
Well, really, only 12 was doing the blind spots thing.
Yeah, but either way, that's the only other thing that it even goes for that grand genius moment, I think.
I would say them stealing the bomb was some great shit. Like, that whole sequence I thought was really
the nuke thing in episode 1? So yeah, episode 1.
Yeah,
so episode 1 again.
Episode 1 was fucking amazing. I just want to say that shit right there.
Most episode 1s kind of suck.
Yeah,
like for most series.
Yeah,
not
like
just
usually
anime.
it's like it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, like you're trying to like get into like they're trying to set things up.
Yeah.
This it like drops you in. And it just leaves you with all these questions. It's like, this was fucking amazing. I can't wait to see where this goes. And then you get there and you're like, that was kind of a shitty trip. Why'd you take me to the dentist?
They should have never answered any of the questions. It was definitely better when it was all ambiguous.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, if it did just end with ambiguity because someone was murdered.
Right.
Like, if something wasn't possible because something was murdered, and at the end of it, Shibazaki's just left hating himself, that would have been a better anime.
Yeah. But yeah.
Positives.
There are some positives I have. One, this is a Watanabe series, so visually it is very well handled.
It is artistically good, but the budget goes up and down like crazy.
Yes,
there are various scenes where Lisa looks like she was imported from Flash animation done by an American 12-year-old, and I
will disagree with that because I've watched One Piece, so I've seen what that shit looks like.
No, see, that takes a lot of drawing. Like she's SD for some reason in quite a few scenes. I'm sure the home release version will get rid of that.
Yeah,
right.
Light is common in anime, but the art quality, just budgetary wise, not aesthetically, went all over the place. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, but yeah, like Watanabe, he does bring his directorial chops to this. This series,
his cinematography sort of thing, his framing and shit like that.
One of the things I really liked was, like in the last episode, when they're like all, I think they're all throwing like the basketball around and shit.
Yep.
And you just hear, I think it was a silence.
And Lisa's such a piece of shit that she can't even catch a ball.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've done the exact same shit that she's done. Now we're like,
and Jay from Halcyon.com, such a piece of shit that he can't even catch a ball.
Yeah. There's a reason why I failed PE. Like
I mean, dude,
year.
if I had to deal with an 11 episode love story arc about you, and at the end of it you can't even catch a ball, I'd be just as pissed as you.
But what was it? But yeah, just that sequence, where you just have the silence. I thought that was really nicely shot. And then you have that scene where he 9 like has her listen to the music.
Yeah.
And it's the only bit of dialogue that's spoken in that scene.
Yeah.
But you don't hear it, but you know exactly what it is because it's mirroring a scene from earlier. I thought that was really nice. I thought that whole sequence was great. Also, the music. Yoko Kanno is a fucking genius when it comes to music. That woman is so versatile in her her composition.
In what genres she moves from in order to make. I mean, some of the themes in that, like the one. Real quick, before I delve into that and we discuss about that scene you were talking about with the silence, that you look at that and this Watanabe is sort of like the silence is there to show that there's peace and not everything's noisy anymore. There's some solitude in this weird rural like fucking forest ass place that they're hanging out and just trying to have basic fun. But then because of the subject matter towards the end of that scene or whatever, where it's like, oh, and let's listen to an iPod. That kind of ruined that scene for me because I'm just like, fucking you, dick. But yeah, I see what he's trying to do there, and you're right. Yeah, his chops are good. They're solid. Like that is it's him trying to deliver on a theme that wasn't actually narrative-wise delivered on.
Yeah,
but he did it via cinematography. Is there a word for that in animation?
It's cinematography.
I guess it would be, yeah.
Yeah,
because it's cinema. But getting back to the Yoko Kanno stuff, my favorite theme from the series is because the internment camps had them medicated and do all sorts of trauma to them, so they are mentally fucked up. the theme for them having their mental fucking breakdown and like completely going to shit was really good. Like that is a song I would listen to outside of it just because of the interesting layers of music you hear. You hear like the high speed, I believe, is percussion of like the heart rate basically catching up, going really fast, but then at the same time you hear this distorted heavy guitar come in and shit like that. Like that song is better layered than the fucking writing in this goddamn show, and it's just like Yoko Kanno fucking knocked it out of the park. I think that series delivered. Maybe it doesn't have a super catchy theme, but I think it was very solid. I think it was very good. I would definitely put it up there sort of in the standalone complex spectrum of things.
Yeah.
And because of how good her music is. My favorite part of this anime is intro and outro.
Yeah.
I felt those were better than the actual show.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say, like, I mean, are we pretty much wrapping this up?
Yeah.
For this? Okay.
Yeah, kinda.
I guess like final thoughts. For me, it's a series that I would totally watch again, but I would not watch it for any. To get anything out of it. Like I would watch it for purely superficial reasons. The music, the cinematography, the directing, the animation, just the visuals. Like that's what I would watch it again for. That and even though the mind game shit gets convoluted and stupid at times, there are a lot of bits that I like about it. Like I said, like the first episode is fucking a masterpiece, pretty much.
Yeah.
And there are great directorial beats in it. I would say I would watch it again for that. Like I'll probably end up picking it up when it's like a budget title, down the line.
Yeah.
Like I definitely wouldn't pick it up like when Funimation first puts it out. And
Have they announced that they're bringing it out? I know that it is.
Yeah, Funimation owns it, and Funimation does pretty much physical releases for just about everything. Yeah.
Okay.
And so this will get like a Blu-ray release with like a chipboard box and everything. And I'll probably just wait for
Who's bringing over Watamote?
That's Sentai Filmworks. And I'm pretty sure it's brought over because it's already out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing about the art. There's this one guy. I don't know why, but he seems to be purple. Like or deep red.
I'm still not sure if it was like your TV.
Because I was looking at both my TV and my monitor. They both calibrated pretty differently.
Pretty differently,
But
yeah. Those are completely different colored spaces, like completely different white balance points. But I don't know, like
he was weird looking.
He looked fucking weird on Bob's TV. I didn't see the monitor head on. He was one of the police officers.
I don't remember seeing someone that looked awesome.
He only shows up a few times, like maybe 3.
He's like always a background character.
Okay, yeah, I didn't notice anyone look like the Grimace, so
he was pretty fucking great. And your comments on the series as a whole, Bob?
As a whole,
because Dan has already delivered his manifesto.
I honestly I don't have much of anything good to say about it. It was a series. I didn't have
it is ostensibly a show. It can be watched.
You could possibly watch it. I never will again.
Bob and I have discussed doing game reviews like CNET does camera reviews back in the day, and that is the exact level of writing we would put into it. Like, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is a game. In it, you shoot people.
But yeah.
I liked the shooting because guns.
I didn't even really none of the music stuck with me. I remember the outro fairly well, and that was pretty good. But I mean, none of the themes that played during the show, I can't remember any of them.
I feel the same way, and I was even looking out for songs that I would like.
I like the intro theme. Something about the vocals.
Yeah, I hated the intro. Actually,
really?
Yeah, no, I couldn't.
But I'm not saying it's well sung. Because of what the series is about, I feel like tonally it hits the weird, damaged, and ruined human being sound.
Yeah, it worked for the series.
So I'd probably just listen to it because it touches on the notes of the theme of the series, which are better than the series. That is the only reason I would listen to it. I probably wouldn't be driving down the road with my buds and be like, hey guys, let's listen to this sweet jam. And they're just what the fuck? What Japanese 8-year-old?
You're so edgy and broken, Dan.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say this is Kano's best work. Because
it doesn't even attempt bebop territory.
Yeah, I would say her top stuff is bebop and Escaflowne, and then below that you have standalone complex, Terror and Resonance, and Kids on the Slope.
Yeah, I still haven't seen Kids on the Slope. Yeah, he just put it down there.
Kids on the Slope pretty much just... Well, I like the music because I'm fond of jazz, but I mean, they pretty much just played the same 2 songs, and then like every now and then it was like, wait, let's throw in the female character, and like, wait, here's one scene where we have the dude that plays trumpet or whatever the hell he plays.
Right.
But like, it was seriously just like 2 songs that they kept remixing.
Fucking me, yeah. Like with Terror in Resonance, every time it was the theme popping up, I'm like, like it just, all of it was kind of disappointing, except for, as I said, the intro is neat to me because of how broken and damaged the human sounds while talking about these themes of that sort of stuff. And the theme where they have the mental breakdown. And you'll notice that's a very common trend. Those 2 things are about that emotional arc that the series was supposed to be delivering on, but just didn't. And I really like her composition for those parts, but the rest of it's really fucking forgettable.
Yeah.
Is that what was going on every time they would have like the weird headache spasm thing?
Yeah, they had the weird headache migraine spasm thing where they just go fucking nuts, basically. Yeah. And then you'll note there was a line in it.
12, I thought that's like, did 12 ever have it? Because I don't remember that happening.
12 didn't, but he's younger than the other 2. And they had a line in there about like, you could only do the medical treatments and things like that to somebody who's under 5 or younger.
Yeah. And
I think there was another throwaway line in there about like they wouldn't last long anyways, like making reference to something as permanently harmed them.
Right. We had like was 5 that they made it pretty obvious she was just dying.
Yeah, she was super dying. So I was under the impression that 12 actually successfully he would be the one it worked for, and everyone else died, and even he escaped before the end of the treatment.
Yeah, I just figured it was gonna end up being something like they only lived X amount of years past the experiments, because they kept saying stuff like, well, I don't have much time left, and then they kept having those headaches, so I thought eventually they were just kind of like, oh, super headache, I'm dead now, or something.
Which is almost what happened to 5. Like, she got hospitalized after that one.
But then they needed to have their stupid car chase.
And then they never explained like why she was being hospitalized.
Yeah, honestly, like, something they really didn't explain very well is what her fucking deal is with 12. Like something about like a chess game?
No, it's 9, because 9's the story.
Oh, I'm sorry, 9.
Allow me to explain. She couldn't beat them at chess.
Yeah.
The whole point, half of the shit that happens in the series is she couldn't beat them at chess.
Okay,
she blew up a $352 million plane because she couldn't fucking beat a kid at chess.
Did they throw out that number?
No, I looked it up because I was this fucking angry. I'm like, you just blew up a plane, you bitch!
Yeah, she is.
I'm like, I'm gonna look it up. How much does a Boeing 747 cost? Oh, $352 million. That's fucking fancy. That's some fancy shit.
Kind of another drop in the bucket for the American government.
right, for the American government, it's fine, but you don't even see them acknowledging that they blew that up, and they're like, oh, sorry about that. Here's a new one. Like, they're just like, oh, weird, it blew up. I bet that was Sphinx.
Yeah.
What assholes.
And then the motivation for the American government to kill
Eric, you creaky bastard!
I'm so sorry.
Sit your fat ass down and shut the fuck up. You want to talk about anime? We'll make you talk about anime.
Please don't.
Okay.
Well,
we can talk about Legend of Korra later.
Okay, great.
But the motivation for the Americans to kill the 2 main characters, which is the conclusion, that is like the last episode, last 10 minutes, is fucking flippant as shit. They're just like, we need to kill those 2 because they saw what happened on the highway and at the airport. The bitch right next to them fucking saw that shit.
Shibazaki knows all this shit too. I don't know why
Maybe they didn't know Shibazaki knew. But I'm giving them that much. I'm giving them that much fucking rope. And still it's like, but you kidnapped that bitch and strapped a bomb to her.
Yeah, they kidnapped Lisa twice.
Yeah,
and like, she definitely knows that they blew up that plane.
Yeah. So it just makes no fucking sense. They let her live and they kill those 2. And then they're like, oh, we're moving on and everything's happier. And we talked about the internment camp, and hey, where's that music from? And he's like, Iceland, bitch! And then it just rolls credits, and I'm like, fuck you, bitch!
No, before it rolls credits, they're like, oh, well, we finished our mission by telling the detective to finish our mission for us.
Yes.
No, that's how it ends.
And then we don't even know if he does.
Yeah.
And they even snipe the 2.
With, talking about how...
Yeah.
they released the information,
and
and
now
the whole
everyone
world
knows
was
about
very
Japan's-
concerned about it.
Everyone knows about
those
Japan's
12
dark side.
random ass kids they did experiments
Hey,
on.
25.
26.
25. Oh,
26?
I think so.
Whoa,
Okay.
that makes it so much worse, I guess.
I guess human,
26.
I guess-
That's pushing it. Fuck those guys.
I guess
should,
human life has value. I don't. I really don't know. I'm trapped.
Get the sociopath.
Yep. But you know, it's,
So this
yeah,
is the
yeah.
positive part?
No, the positive part was
It was about 40 seconds there where Jay's like, I like Yoko Kanno.
You know what I really liked about it?
I
What
like
did-
Shinichiro Watanabe as a director.
I really liked how awful all the riddles were.
Yes.
It was pretty much just like whenever they were probably in their mental hospital, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
They, I feel like they just read up on
Oedipus.
Oedipus. Yeah, they both read Oedipus and were like, wow, this was a good story. And then whenever they got out, they were just like,
Yeah.
let's make all our riddles about Oedipus. And then anybody else who knew anything about Oedipus would be able to know the riddle. That's
Yeah.
all it was. It wasn't like cryptic or anything. It was just
And
we're
weird-
referencing a book.
And it was weird to me because it was only Oedipus. It wasn't like a ton of different notes that all touch on patricide as a concept or as that.
They
No,
found the
it's
best
just-
one.
They found the best one. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I
best
think
one
it's-
involves with him nailing his mom.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, like, because like one of the major things of the Oedipus story is pretty much him plowing his mother, which is what causes all the other shit that happens in the story of Oedipus. So like the patricide part, I never considered that important of a theme in Oedipus.
Yeah. It's like
No.
kind of one of the worst stories you could have. There's so much
Yeah.
normal Greek lore about gods and shit you can pull
Yeah.
to better deliver on the
'Cause-
idea of patricide.
I don't know. It's just like if I were to like become a terrorist, I just made riddles about Dragon Ball Z sagas. Like that's what it feels like. It's just
I'll have you know, you're just hanging yourself right now, because come 10 years from now, it's going to be on the news, and they're going to be like, what Namek? It's not even going to be smartly crafted. It's just going to be like a Jeopardy question. You're going to be like, a Namek who fused with Piccolo.
hey, fuck you. I would never say Namek. It's Namekian,
I'm sorry.
asshole.
I'm sorry. Well, next we're going to
And
talk
that's
about...
what makes Jay the genius in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Jay's
What,
a
bitches?
super genius who was medically enhanced.
And
So he
apparently I have like Asperger's or some shit.
and
Yeah.
he can Google how to make a bomb. So we'll never catch him. Oh yeah, one last note before we go on to talk about Barakamon. Zankyo no Terror
Yeah, Zankyo no Terror
was
is the Japanese
the
name.
Japanese name for Terror in Resonance. And one of the translations I saw for that is like Echo of Terror, basically. Which I find interesting because the echo, as an idea, more keenly speaks to the cycle of violence, like that sort of thing. Of like you commit violence and then those
Yeah, it's
people
just
you
it's
commit it to.
repetition. It just
Yeah.
it keeps going.
Yeah, and it causes cascading effects. Whereas resonance,
It
it implies there's some property about these things that makes them resonate with
Yeah.
each other, and
is not
I don't-
the same.
I don't know that is a strong enough theme in that compared to the idea of this cycle of violence to really make that work.
Right. So just
Oh.
just another thing of where like theming is kind of an issue with the series, but then again, this is more of a translation problem than it is
Yeah.
because then it was a fault on Watanabe's part.
For all we know, that actually could be a thing already in the States. There could be something called like Echo of Terror, or
Yeah, I
something
can probably
like
see a
that.
horror movie called that.
And Terror Echo doesn't sound like a Japanese name.
Yeah, or Terror's Echo.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. Barakamon!
Barakamon.
Is that how you say it?
Barakamon.
That's an
yeah.
O. Mon.
Oh, Mon? No, I thought it was an A in the...
Nope. Everyone's been saying Barakamon. It's Barakamon.
I just read it like it's a Digimon character that looks like
Barakamon.
our president.
Digital Monster. Digimon are the champions. It's just Baraka, but Digivolved. Yeah, he's just scraping his arms, shooting those whatever the fuck they were. Are
Okay,
those supposed to be metal shavings?
They're sparks.
Yeah, I think they're sparks.
Okay, that look nothing like sparks.
Also made no sense anyway.
Right.
Metal shavings would make a little more sense.
Right. Instead, it's a fucking laser, basically. Is what it looks like. But in any case, Barakamon. This is so far removed for what Terror in Resonance is. This is directed by Masaki Tachibana, who's known for... Shit, I didn't even look at this.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
This is incredible. Dot Hack Quantum,
The OVA.
and King of Fighters Another Day.
Which that was not bad.
It says ONA.
Yeah, but
but
ONA, that means an internet release only.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they were
Original
actually...
network.
Net anime.
Net anime.
And animation.
But yeah, I actually kind of like that one. It's definitely the best animated King of Fighters I'd seen.
How high is the
that's
bar
not-
on that?
It is like the ground.
So your standard animated or fighting game animated adaptation.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's high end.
Let me
High
tell you, it's
praise.
like the Kmart that was around here, raised to the ground. All standards must go. The original creator is Satsuki Yoshino, which this is his first work.
Apparently, that's according to Anime News Network. That's where I
Okay,
checked.
and that is the mangaka, correct?
Yes,
And you said
that he had a special sayings in
Watamote.
Watamote.
It's your
yeah.
fault that I'm not more popular.
Yeah. Okay.
Can we talk about Watamote?
No. No. You're like 5 seasons too late for that shit. Fuck you, Dan.
And,
I love Watamote. Whatever,
Walk
fine.
through it again. Feel entirely too awkward all over again.
Yes.
Right.
It's glorious, maybe. In any case, animation production was done by Kinema Citrus, which is Black Bullet and Yu Yu Shiki.
I know neither
that-
one of them.
I have actually seen a bit, or I've seen all of Yu Yu Shiki and a bit of Black Bullet.
What is Yu
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 Shiki?
Yu Yu Shiki is like this weird, do nothing slice anime.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
Yeah,
Because all I'm thinking of was when I hear Yu Yu Shiki is the weird Silent Hill joke ending song.
Oh, not Yu Yu
Because they keep
Hakusho?
saying no, not Yu Yu Hakusho. Jesus, I'm not that dyslexic. But yeah, they keep saying that song "Shiki Shiki," like trying to say "shaky shaky," like that's a thing you would say to dance. But whatever. In any case, so it has some characters.
It has a lot of characters.
Let's talk about.
Yeah.
There's so many characters. I'm not sure that I'm going to try to hit all of them when describing this. For different reasons than Terror in Resonance, this has a lot of well-defined characters.
Yes.
Unlike Terror in Resonance, which
Yes.
has a bunch of fucking archetypes.
Yes.
So let's start with Seishu Handa. He is a calligrapher professionally who does a lot of exhibit work, and he starts the first episode off by decking the person who's judging his work in the face because he said it was too formal and it's monotonous. He's like, you've only started, you're young, and yet you're still writing with monotony.
Mediocrity.
Well, he was saying monotony.
Oh, was he
He's
saying
saying like it seems repetitive and bored and uninspired.
Yeah, it's very
He said it
textbook
was
and by the
dull,
Yeah.
right?
yeah. Yeah, it's uninspired. Basically.
So he says that about his work that he spent so much time mastering, quote, the basics on, that he just fucking decks the old man who's walking with a cane and shit. And so because of this, his dad's like, you need to get the fuck out of here, get your shit together, you go to this goddamn island. And for some reason, he hates everyone so much he does. So that is the setting of Barakamon. He gets to this island, he has a nice little house that he sets up in, and it's a very rural area, it's blatantly in Kansai. These are southern people, blatantly. Which I love every time somebody has a shit fit with, when they brought it over, the Kansai people sound like Southerners. I hate Southerners, but those are Japanese people, and they're not like Southerners. And it's like, no, listen to all the stereotypes about Kansai people. It's pretty similar. Very rural, supposedly not smart, don't have a lot of technology, very interested in simple things.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the same fucking things.
They're-
You just hate Southerners and want to like every Japanese person because they're not American.
pretty much.
So, getting back to the anime instead of my manifestos on why I hate you weeaboos, I named my series so that way you idiots would come here, and then I'm just gonna shit on you. So
You hate them. I'm actually in this fucking faggoty ass fandom.
Yeah, I just sit on the side reffing.
Yeah,
You suck. You suck.
you have to deal with like the fucking gaming fandom, like whatever the fuck your drama is. Shit. I had to deal with constant fucking autism.
That sounds the same. I don't know. Pre-order Call of Duty now and get it a day early. I don't know. But in any case, so he is the main character. He's the focal point for the whole series. He's basically in every fucking scene. He might be in every frame almost. But in any case,
There are a few scenes without him.
Yeah.
Very few near the end. They go,
The kids interact without him a few times.
right, yeah. Sometimes they cut to just like Tama and.
but it's to set up for a scene with him.
Yes,
it
it is.
immediately
It-
follows that.
Yes.
It's pretty great. So on a script, you might label that as 17A, 17B, and as such, he's still in scene 17. But in any case, I'm gonna stop that bullshit.
Okay.
So is she 7? I
Yes.
thought
Yeah,
she was-
this is
Yeah,
all
okay.
stuff right from Wikipedia.
Yeah,
Again.
it's interesting though. She says that she's 7, and then 2 episodes later, she has her 7th birthday.
Yep.
well,
yeah.
Kids
you know,
round up.
Yeah, kids round up.
Yeah, I guess. All right.
Because they're so proud. I mean, you're not gonna say 6.5 when you're pretty much 7.
Right.
You're gonna be like, I'm 7. But yeah, her name's Naru. I'm not even gonna say the last name because they pretty much don't in the series.
Honestly,
You
I
just
think,
know
I think
what
we
it
can
is
skip
because of-
all of the last names because, in fact, like even like the full version of these names.
Yeah,
like,
because Tamako isn't called Tamako. She's just called
Tama and
Tama.
Hiroshi. Because I didn't even know like Tamako and Hiroshi were their names. I just knew them as Tama and Hiro, which I
Yeah.
thought it was weird that all of them only had 2-syllable names. I was just like, okay, I guess.
Southern.
Yeah, they're like they're
Right.
simple as fuck here. Apparently,
Your name's
More-
Dan. And
more-
I'm like, my name's Daniel. Call me my full name. And everyone said no. So I'm
See, I
Dan
have a hell of
from
a time
GigaBoots.
getting people to fucking call me Jay. It's a pain in the ass.
That's a letter. Come on. You can't get shorter than that. Other than that, there's you.
Oh yeah,
But in
just-
any case, so yeah, we got Naru. She's 7 years old. She's a first-year student in a local elementary school. She's got her grandpa and the basically the village leader just sets up the main character Seishui or Honda. Which do you want to call him, guys? Do you want to call him Seishui or Honda?
Honda's
Well,
fine.
well, I guess we could call him what
They constantly
Sensei.
refer to him Sensei. Yeah.
Sensei sounds good to me.
everyone calls him Sensei.
I honestly started forgetting his name by the time I finished, just because
it wasn't until like near the end I started remembering it because people started referring to him, like the people in his business and his parents started referring to him by his name, and then I started
Yeah.
hearing his name again. But everyone else
Yeah.
pretty much calls him Sensei.
I call him Sensei because he's the only one that's not like a backwoods redneck.
Yes.
Well, that
Yeah,
like well,
and he's teaching them calligraphy.
well that
But that's the
and-
thing, though.
they
Like
called
they were
that
calling
before
that
that.
before that.
well,
event.
Yes.
So when you are like a professional in a craft, you do get called Sensei whether you're being taught by that person or not. Like doctors are referred to as Sensei.
Yeah.
Mangaka are referred to by Sensei by a lot of people.
Yeah,
So,
there
yeah.
are a few terms
And since
like that.
since he is, like kind of, very
in
well
the
known
top
in
of
his craft.
his field, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, he is Sensei.
But yeah, in any case, so we have Naru. She's adorable. She hangs out and pesters him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And this anime, the focus of it is how you're gonna come to find her adorable and him funny. Like he's stoic and he just has to deal with this crazy 7-year-old who shows
I
up.
can't
and
even say he's stoic.
he is
pretends
until
to
he
be.
breaks.
Yeah, like,
because
he-
he's raised by his 2 parents, one of which is fully stoic and the other one who's a constant explosion.
Yeah, like he feigns stoicism to try and to look more mature, but fails horribly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets caught up in the like playful acts of the children constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Jeff?
I feel like it would be hard not to want to act stoic if you were a calligrapher.
Right? It feels like, he's like, I'm 23, I need to be
Is that
like
how
really
old he
mature.
is?
Yes. It's not written on there, but he's 23.
And he doesn't even have a girlfriend.
Because I'm always like, I'm already a grown man, and it's like, so I wasn't
You were
Right.
expecting higher 20s, not
Yeah.
somebody who's younger than you. Who
Honestly, like,
Yeah.
what was it, after fucking Yakitate calling, like, fucking 22-year-olds fucking old men?
Uh-huh.
I'm like, fuck you! I'm 22! Back when I watched that anime. Fuck you!
That's always fun.
Right?
I keep a different bar in my head for that.
So,
but
by first year, would that be like equivalent to kindergarten here, or would?
I
Say
don't
what?
know their education system well enough to answer
What do you
that
mean?
question.
For first years in elementary are like this first grade. Elementary has 6 grades. Middle school has
So what
3.
would be
High school has
the
3.
kindergarten equivalent.
No, it would be
yeah.
a first. It would
Right,
be
because
first,
they
Yeah,
have a
that's
separate
right.
kindergarten
but
school.
not kindergarten.
Yeah,
because kindergarten becomes. See, there are 12 grades in Japan, and there are 12 grades here and kindergarten.
Yeah.
So technically,
yeah.
this
Yes.
would be the equivalent of just like first grade. Also, you'll notice, I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I don't have a kid, so I don't know about this shit. Doesn't kindergarten start at 6 or something?
5 usually.
I was
to 4.
gonna say, we get
Well,
them
well,
earlier.
like pre-K is like I think 4, and then kindergarten's 5, I think.
Yeah. Oh, well, in any case, other characters. We have Miwa. She is a 14-year-old tomboy. She shows up a lot. Apparently, her and her friend Tama were both just hanging out and making the home he's staying in a fucking base until he shows up, and then they still continue to do that.
Yeah, they just kind of like squat in his house and like just hang out and listen to music and pester the fuck out of him and get him to teach them calligraphy.
I love how important it was for them to put back up that
Yeah, like
really
the- yeah,
important
he just-
wrestling poster.
Yeah, like he took down like all their posters and boxed up all their CDs, and after like they realized that he did this, they're like, "Oh, good, you didn't throw it away." And then they start putting the posters back up and putting
Yep.
the CDs back out.
Yep. Which is pretty fucking incredibly rude.
I love these characters.
Yeah, this anime is delightful.
Yeah.
Tama's incredible. And
I love
good.
Tama.
I would
Like,
love
I wanna
to.
read
I'd
her
love to
manga.
go
Right?
more into the core of the characters, like the two main ones, Sensei and Naru. But like, I love Tama so much because she has this great story. She's the glasses character, but she reads a lot of manga. She doesn't want people to know it, but she's writing a manga, and she's like, I don't want people to know that I'm writing a manga because then they'll think I'm an otaku. And then after that, she's like, oh my god, they might even think I'm a fujoshi. Fujoshi is like some chick who reads yaoi manga because she's into dudes.
like straight up yaoi fangirls, like the ones that are just like, yeah, guy on guy fucking.
I think it directly translates to
Sasuke
rotten
and
woman.
Naruto.
Yes.
Really
Yeah.
rotten woman?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it directly
Rotten.
translates to rotten woman or something. Fujoshi.
Oh, okay.
What
Yeah.
a good title to have.
Right.
Isn't that hilarious? But yeah, so she's constantly at threats. She's constantly fighting the threat that is getting off on dudes grasping each other. So like at one point, Sensei, he trips, and then another character, Hiro, who's Hiroshi, it grabs him to keep him from like just fucking falling on him. She turns the corner to see that, and they're just grasping each other. From her perspective, they're like holding each other with a loving embrace, and she's like, ugh.
Yeah. I just God, every fucking scene with Tama is
It's gold.
Yeah,
It
she
fucking
is. Like honestly, almost every scene with every character is just so damn good.
Like at one point, they're at the beach. Tama's sitting there, and Seshui Sensei wakes up after a head injury, and he's just under the umbrella, and he's just hanging out. And he sits up, and Tama's sitting there because she sunburns easily, and she's sitting under the umbrella. And she goes, "What do you think about Hiro?" and he's like, "Huh? Why is she asking me this?" She must be really into Hiro. And then he just thinks about like, oh man, I really need to prop this guy up. It's so cool that Tom is interested in boys. And then he's like, I think he's really something special. You won't find a guy as outspoken and caring as
And
Hiro.
he can cook.
And he can cook.
And she just like
she's
loses her shit.
She's like, who the fuck? Because she just talked about this. She's like, who the fuck do you think I was talking about couldn't sleep? Because she's now like thinking he's divulging his love for him or something. And then like Sensei's just like, what?
Yeah, I love just. Oh god, I love that
It's one of
character.
the ones I haven't seen yet.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
the-
it's
oh,
okay.
yeah.
I kind of came here entirely.
Yeah, okay, for
expecting to be
reference,
spoiled.
I think all of us except for Jeff have finished the series.
Yeah, we watched it all. You said you dropped off episode 5 just because of time constraints, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
We
thing
go
is
on
though, this is one of those series.
Unlike Terror and Resonance, you don't need to watch the whole thing to
Yeah.
figure out whether or not you enjoy it and
After
whether or not you like the
finishing Terror
characters.
and Resonance, I'm really sad that I watched it first.
Yeah,
right.
I wish I could come here just being like, wow, glad I didn't finish that.
Right? But yeah,
You know what we should do, real quick? I'm going to have this discussion on air.
Okay.
Normally, people have these off air and then like present it as a consensus decision. Should we do a thing where we do an overall like our panel says watch this or don't watch this? Like individually?
I
'Cause I
think
think
so.
all of us are
Yeah.
saying don't watch Terror and Resonance and watch Barakamon.
Well,
Yeah.
watch Terror and Resonance, but don't take it seriously.
yeah, like don't go in with
Keep
high
Terror and Resonance running on a monitor in the corner of the room.
Because they might look cool
Don't watch it
sometimes.
for plot.
Yeah, Terror Resonance is one of those things, like, I could see people enjoying, like, it's just, like...
Just could have been so much better.
They're just better things that are out right now. This season, honestly, like I said, I watched, I think, like I said, like 8 or 9 shows this season, and only 2 of them I really, really, really liked. Barakamon being one of them.
Yeah, Barakamon was great.
Yeah.
But let's continue to talk about Barakamon.
Yes.
So, in any case, these characters are pretty fucking great. Like, each and every one has an interesting way they interface with the main character. And it's funny, too, because as he makes these weird friendships on the island back in Tokyo, where he comes from, his only friend is his fucking art dealer, basically. So it's this parasitic relationship of him being like, you need to get better, but really, get your shit together. Because I need to make money. And every episode is about him just trying to live his life on the island. And a lot of the time, he doesn't go looking for inspiration. He just, something happens and it inspires a piece of calligraphy from him.
Yeah.
Which is also, like, the overarching theme of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun!
Yeah. Release!
Heartbeat on the one where he went to the hospital.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, it's always, he's always kind of stumped. He doesn't know what the hell to do. And, he always has, that big inspiration, something that clicks with him. But he's never satisfied with it, even though it's a fantastic piece that he even thinks is fantastic. He doesn't really consider it his true work, his true style, because it's something that inspired him on the moment, and not something he actively went out to create.
The amazing thing is, they deliver more on that idea that he is really tied between the two he's torn between the two worlds of his parents, the very stoic traditional and the explosive emotional.
Yeah.
And as he swings one way hard one way or hard the other, he is creatively unsatisfied by his own work. Mm-hmm. Either it's too formal and uninteresting, or it is too explosive and he doesn't even feel like that's him because he was inspired by some external influence. And that I find, as somebody who makes the videos I do and does the things I do, ruminates this much on creating a very nice thing to see a series touch on, touch on that specific element of the artistic creation process. That being dissatisfied because something's a sloppy fucking mess, and being dissatisfied because something's too rigid and unfulfilling.
Mm-hmm. I think
as a person,
I think you and I can both attest to how that shit feels. Because and I don't know, maybe it's narcissistic to refer to us as artists or whatever.
Yeah, we're YouTube. What's a dictionary word than artist? Artisan. We're YouTube artisans.
Yeah, but people who are who try to create creative things, who try to really invest themselves in their work and want to express themselves through a creative medium. I totally get where I have never resonated with a character as much as I did with Sensei. In any piece of fiction. I felt for that character so much. I understood exactly where he was coming from every goddamn time. And just,
Yeah, I feel like that. I felt the same. Once again, not trying to get into the overly douchey as an artist myself.
Yeah, but thing is, though,
just when I finish fucking scripts, any person who's an actual fan of GigaBoots and not someone wandering into this, they know I've trashed at least 10 or more fully written scripts with cutaways, criticisms, all of this shit, and I just read it and hated it. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't because it was terrible, it's because it was this exact conflict he has. It's either too rigid or too unrigid, and there's just no balance to it. And that's a larger problem with him emotionally in dealing with his work. And I really like that aspect of this.
Yeah, I have never seen a series tackle this theme, neither animated or live action.
I generally, when I see fucking something try to tackle this, it's the Akitate thing. It's just a sort of DBZ arc of and then he just did it better. Yeah. I take it back. Comic Party kind of did that, but it didn't do us anywhere near to the extent that this did. Yeah.
Like this really, I think, hit all the peaks of that emotional arc of what you go through when you're trying to create a piece. Trying to express yourself creatively. Even his 2 students are learning calligraphy from him, and himself goes through near the end of it because he was teaching them calligraphy for a summer course. And they have to enter a piece at the end of summer for this course that's their calligraphy,
and even they express the exact same arc that is them being like, we're done, it's so good. 10 seconds pass and then they're just like, oh my god, should we even send this in?
Yeah, like it is like I love that, and because now they have that investment, they understand where he's coming from, and because they're learning from him just as much as he's learning from them. I loved everything about this fucking anime. Jesus fucking Christ.
I like how genuine it is. Like, whereas Terror in Resonance has a bunch of archetypes, these are relatively well-developed characters. Like, you don't believe that the OG-san or Oba-san, who's running the fucking market, is just some over-the-top stereotype. No, it's just an old lady with a dog. Yeah, she, like everyone's just kind of reserved. Like the closest thing to, like, I guess an archetype maybe is, like, Naru, but, like, even she has, layers to her. She has, she has nice little bit. Oh, actually, I take it back. Hina is probably the most shallow character because she basically just cries a lot. But that is a realistic portrayal of
a
emotional depth of a fucking
and honestly, and god damn it, that character is fucking adorable every time she is on screen. Like, this series is so cute. It's so fucking heartfelt.
Yeah, and it is just a pilot cute that is talking about emotional things that is really delivering on all of these pretty well. Jeff, did you get to the part with the milk carton where they're just?
Oh my god, that was amazing! That was like my favorite joke.
Fucking amazing joke. In fact, you can't even Google the name of the character Naru and Barakamon without it pulling up that image on Google image search of her with the furled eyebrows, overly serious. They're like, hey, can you read this? And she's like, yeah, it says open square. And then they're like, wow, good job. Here you go. Take it as a prize. Tell everyone you can read it. And she's like, yeah. And she has like this way too over-the-top manly face.
Like Kenshiro levels of just seriousness.
That was a long time ago.
And then she walks up to Sensei and she's like, hey, guess what this says? And he's like, opening.
And she just, her face is, like big-eyed, sad look, just
melts into a moe blob.
I was like laughing.
Yes.
So
honestly,
hard.
like that joke is so much better for us who can't read Japanese, because if you can read Japanese, you already know she fucked that up.
Right.
And if you can't read Japanese, that's so much better, because when he goes, it says opening, and you just see like that stoicism just melt to just sad moe face, and you're just like,
At least she got milk.
Yes.
That's like your one thing you have to hold on to. What else is there in this series? Jeff, what was your favorite part? Like, character or whatever? I guess it was Tama.
Yeah. I mean, I only watched like 5-ish episodes, unfortunately.
Right.
But I have every intention to actually finish this one. I mean, it's on my phone right now. I was watching it at stoplights during work today. I'm like, I got like 30 seconds to watch more of this.
Be cute. Yes. Pauses drives.
For reference, Jeff is a pizza driver.
Yeah,
so he had a lot of stoplights to hit to watch like a full episode.
God damn.
I have 0 tickets for the record. Never been in a car accident.
Good job, Jeff.
Good job.
But,
you are animating correctly.
I didn't.
You put all those 16-year-old girls who fucking like wrecked their cars while texting to shame.
Right?
Well, that's their problem. They were texting. They should have been watching moe anime.
Right?
But what are you gonna?
Real quick, on that note, I'll like look at my phone a lot while I'm like stopped. I don't ever actually like look at it while I'm driving, and I'll constantly have people just like look at me, also stopped next to me, and be like, "Don't text and drive," and I'm like, I'm not technically driving right now. I'm just kind of sitting here.
I don't. Thank you, bitch.
Encountering the first world problem of I didn't have enough time to check my Facebook at the stoplight.
That for me was the original Mario Kart on like DS, like that one, just because there was the suspend feature, and I'm like, it's okay, you can flip it over and play it and then stop.
I did that shit with Tetris on the DS. That was great shit.
We are dangerous people who should not be
bad role models.
If only we lived in Japan, then we could ride trains and just watch anime and play.
Or get lifts on tractors.
Yeah.
I went to Atlanta over the past
break.
couple and I rode public transit for the first time in my life, was just
In
sitting
Atlanta.
there.
I'm not sure I'd want
Right.
Man,
It was
Can I
like
just
a
say,
bunch of
low-life degenerates.
Yeah.
like I've driven through
Lower-class
Atlanta.
citizens.
I had to drive in Atlanta for 3 days. That was a nightmare fucking traffic
That's
landscape.
why I
that
took
was
transit.
that was
Yeah.
fucking horrible.
But it was fun. I'd never done it before, so I was like grinning ear to ear, and everyone was just like, "Why is this kid so happy?" And I was like, "This is neat. I'm on a bus."
I bet you can't tell that we live in the middle of fucking nowhere, right? And it's so true. Isn't it great? You're just in a vehicle and you're like, I'm not driving.
I was legitimately upset that they wouldn't, like, no one wanted to ride the subway. I was like, I've never been on one. I started running down the steps to the station, and they're like, Jeff, we're going this way. And I was like, I hate you guys. I wanted to see the subway. But anyway, getting back on track.
Back to
Back in our
Barakamon.
serious discussion of cute animes.
But now, touching
Bob,
on
how
the,
cute is not? Go ahead.
No, touching on the
Touching on
the
Naru,
subject
gotcha.
of how like hard hitting it was about how I'm just thinking about trains right now.
God damn.
Obviously,
Do
you
I
should
have an anime for you?
Yeah.
But I say, like, obviously you should have been watching.
Multi-track drifting.
Multi-track drifting.
Obviously, you should have been watching Rail Wars this season.
Actually, I've seen clips of the several plot devices in that episode or in that show, and I think I'm gonna have to go watch it.
Like, okay, like all I
Trains
know
running
is
into
all I know
plot.
about Rail Wars is like it looked like it was going to be a show about trains, and it's apparently a show about smut. That's all I really know.
It's
I saw like the
Simpsons.
first 2 episodes. I think that show should be like 100% worse than it is.
Well, I mean, isn't that the same thing as Initial D? Like, the whole time we've been talking about this, I'm like, hey, Jeff, have you seen Initial D? That show has no right being as good as it is. It's like, what a stupid fucking idea for an anime, but then you're, like, invested and you feel dumb? Because you're like, he's just drifting. Why do I care this much?
Yeah,
Why is this so entertaining that I'm on episode 80 or whatever?
Right? I don't. And it has the fan service moments, but then it like gets back to legit. Like they're just running a railway and trying to stop people who screw it up.
Huh. This is
Oh, wait, no, I think
important.
I'm thinking of a different anime.
Oh, yeah?
There was one I swear about like schoolgirls messing with model trains.
Oh wow!
Now, see, that seems like the Jeff version of Rail Wars.
Yeah.
You don't need
that's
to
That's what I'm saying. Like they're high
Like, I
school
would
girls
see-
now, when it's all slice
I
of
would
life
see
and moe
clips
as
of
fuck.
like very large plotted females and
Yeah,
like
lots of
being
plot.
like, oh no, my plot got in the way of the train going across the track. Or something.
Lots of front and
I'm
back
not-
story.
Maybe that wasn't the whole like premise of the anime, but I saw that clip and was like, this looks good.
This looks great.
But getting back to Barakamon.
Barakamon.
How you guys were discussing earlier about
Creative process, or
the creative process and how that hits home for you guys.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way. I mean, like with music at least.
Oh yeah,
like,
let's say yeah. I forgot that you do music.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it's
like, you
like-
totally get that same thing
I'll
too.
either make something and I'm like, I can't do that again. I was just kind of hitting stuff, or like it's just like, especially once I
Stale.
start learning music theory and stuff, you start to realize how structured everything really is, and you're like, wow, I can play almost every song with just a major scale, and that's like every popular radio song right there.
Yes.
And then it's like it makes it hard to actually like get creative with it, because it's like I'm just playing what everyone else is playing, or I'm just hitting random
or
ass
it
stuff.
sounds bad.
Yeah.
Like it's this delicate balance between the two, which is why I don't know. Like when you tell people like you actually base your music taste on the radio, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Like, and they just look at you like you're a fucking hipster. It's like no, you don't understand. That shit's overly engineered to sound saccharine as shit coming out of fucking FM speakers. That's the level we're at. It's not just all in a major scale. It's not all super structured. Yeah, on top of that, it's just designed and compressed to sound good coming out of an FM stereo.
Yeah.
You listen to Coldplay coming out in an FM stereo, it's the exact same quality you get on their CD because it is that heavily compressed.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That sounds
You're like,
awful.
ugh, Coldplay.
Coldplay.
They're not from Iceland.
Yeah. But then
They're like
Hero-
the Coldplay of Iceland, so way better.
It was like in the third or fourth episode, I don't remember. Hero was whenever he's like this guy, actually, it was probably like the second episode when he was like, this guy, he probably just had talent and he didn't even have to try to win his awards and stuff. And then he finds out how hard he actually had been working the whole time. And then he's like,
I guess I'm a shithead.
yeah, he reflects on it and like all the times when he's like, I've studied enough, or just like, yeah, I'll go just like have fun instead of doing my schoolwork or whatever. And then he's just like, shit, like maybe that's the reason I'm not actually achieving anything, because like in my head I'm trying really hard, but really
now like that I have a point of reference,
I'm half-assing everything, and that's the one that really hit home for me. Just kind of being like, I probably could give a little more effort in the things that I would like to.
God, just
I was just gonna say, I really like all the moments of Hero when he like goes on those inner monologues of, oh man, what am I gonna do after high school? I'm gonna have to leave the island and all this, and they always just break it immediately with some joke from Naru or from what was Miwa,
like slamming a cup full of juice into his back so that his back is soaked in orange juice. Because he was like ruminating on that at the end, and he's just like, I'm gonna have to leave the island soon, and when I do, and then he's
just like,
then he just
you ruined my serious moment.
He pauses for a moment, and then the very next frame is him holding Naru up by her head. He's like, you ruined my serious moment. This anime does a really good job of touching on these really deep, relatable human things, and also being funny and cute while doing it, which is not a thing most animes can pull.
Yeah, like this series, it balances everything so well. Like, you know, it really hits home with a lot of very meaningful themes and ideas, and you know, and all the ideas, like kind of all the themes, kind of tie back into effort and work and, you know, inspiration and creativity, and it does it so well, and it hits on so many different levels. And like I said, you know, as we were all saying, you know, just it balances, you know, that serious element plus, you know, the lighthearted element and just the comedy, and like it works so goddamn well, and it is really impressive that they're able to juggle all of that and make it just feel cohesive.
Yeah, which is why this anime is definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, like this is a must buy for me. Like the moment this comes out, like I am buying this.
I would. The beach episode, I think it's great that they built it up to be like the typical anime beach episode, and then the main female characters show up in their tracksuits.
Yes, that was great.
That was such a fucking gold joke. They're showing up in like normal gym suits, like white t-shirts and shorts, and he's like, isn't it hard to swim in that? And they're like, no. And then he's just like, huh. That's like the end of that. I was like, nice. That's great. I love that this anime is doing that. And then, like, that episode is less about, like, oh, they're at the beach and, like, gross kids things do at the beach.
Yeah.
Like, pick up a sea cucumber, squeeze it, and make its entrails explode out of the top of it.
That reminded me way too much of my own childhood, most of that. Because we didn't go to the beaches like we see around here. We went to, like, jetties like they went to.
Right.
We found weird things like crabs and...
Yeah.
Horseshoe crabs.
And then it's like dangerous stuff of like these dumb teenagers teaching young kids to leap off of a pier into the water, and this like the adult figure who was forced into watching over them, sensei, having to be like, no, stop that, you're teaching bad things. And he trips and busts his head.
Yeah.
And then he just like passes out again because of that. Like it's really
he finally trips and busts his head.
Oh,
he does it 3 times at the beach.
Yeah.
Because it's all slick rocks.
Yeah.
Right. Since he's a city boy, he's not used to walking on slick rocks at all. That shit's hard.
It really is.
Never done
that
it.
shit is.
My worst time trying to deal with that was at a national park in Tennessee, I believe it was. Some nice forested area. Just so much of right next to that riverbed is just slick fucking rocks that have been smoothed to a sheen by the current of the water over time. What a fucking liability.
Those aren't even covered in algae like they get at jetties like they were at.
Uh-huh.
You can't see it because, you know, audio. But I have this excellent scar right here from when I was like 5. I was at the beach and I slipped on a rock and I landed like putting my hand down right on an oyster shell and it cut right into my joints like on both of these fingers. Yeah, I like lifted my hand out of the water and it was just like blood. I just started like crying and then I went and knocked on a random door, and then the lady that answered ended up being a nurse. So she like
wow,
put my hand
good
up and
job.
stuff.
You knocked on the right door.
Right? Got grounded because I wasn't supposed to be that far from my house.
Yeah.
Oh.
So those rocks, man.
So
Yeah,
Slip on them.
yeah, they don't fuck you up.
Watch out for slippery rocks.
So going back to Naruto getting bad, like taking up bad habits, like the older kids teaching Naruto bad habits. I love like some of the shit she says, and just fucking Sensei just being like, where are you learning this? Or like, are you you're teaching this girl this shit? It's like, we're not teaching her this. She's just hearing us say it and repeating it.
Because Miwa and Tama, the two 14-year-old middle school girls who are friends, hang out at that place, and Naru shows up all the time to hang out with them. So they've taught her various phrases. And while fucking Sensei's out of the room, they're talking about how depressing it is he doesn't have a girlfriend. They're like, how does he not have a girlfriend? Isn't there someone he cares about? And then they're like, Naru, you should just date him. Just get it over with.
Yeah, like 10 years,
just in 10 years you should plunder
him. Yeah, plunder that. That was a fantastic fucking line.
And then he comes back and he's like, hey, what are you looking through? Because they're looking through random shit and he's trying to find signs of a girlfriend. And they yell at him for not having a girlfriend, and Naru tackles him and she's like, I'm gonna plunder you.
This shit they teach, and once again, goes back to what I was saying, there is layers and depth to this character. She isn't just a one-note joke character that she isn't just spastic and annoying or whatever. She does have a lot of adorable traits, and she does have a lot of real-world traits.
Yeah, and every character in this they're very true to what that person is in real life. It's not like, here's my reductionist view of what these type of people do.
I have seen very few shows that just nail what people are so well.
Yeah. And
that's fully realize them as humans. And each character too. Each one feels, they don't have to have some sort of crazy quirk. No, it's just they're people. They're people. They have their own interests. They have, some of them are a bit more involved in their interests than others. But some are just completely tame and normal. And some have a few different quirks, but they're all just people. And that's something I really, really liked about this show. And it made it much easier to invest in them as characters.
Yeah. When his agent slash friend slash parasite and his number one fan show up on the island.
Oh god!
Which he brought the fan just to meet him because
slash rival
because he wouldn't shut the fuck up basically. They show up at Naru's place. They're just trying to find out where the fuck Sensei is, where the fuck Seshui is, and they're like, hey. Do you know where this guy is? And they're like, oh no, we don't have anyone like that. And then after a bit more questions, she's like, oh, I think I know where that person is, but I won't tell you unless you buy something. And he's just like, God, this kid's a ball buster. He's like, fine, I'll buy this shell, because she has this neat little shop set up with all these seashells and stuff. And then she's like, okay, that'll be blah. And then he gives her the money, and then he's holding the shell, and he's like, huh. And then the creature was still inside of it, so it extends itself out on his hand, and he's like, ah! And flings it at her, and she's like, oh, that's so gross, why did it touch me? And there's so many jokes like that where it's highly realistic that the adult would react to that is gross more realistically than the kid.
Yeah.
Because at one point, Sensei's trying to prevent these kids from fighting and stuff. And one of them gets carried away and knocks a cell phone out of his hands, and it lands in dog shit. And he's like, you landed the finishing blow on my mobile. And the kid's like, finishing blow? And he's like, it wasn't working before, but now it's just dead to me. And the kid isn't reacting that it's covered in dog shit. He's just like, wait, that phone doesn't work? You lied to me.
Yeah. I love the fact, kids are totally cool dealing with bugs and shit. Bugs and creepy crawlers,
except for
cool.
Hina.
Hina is the scaredy one. So that makes sense.
The crybaby. She's that type of person where she is uncomfortable with that. Which I would like to note when we were talking about the beach episode, the exploding sea cucumber. Naru did that to her. Yeah. She's like, hey, touch this. And she's just like,
shit, what was I saying?
I don't know.
Something about bugs and
bugs. But then you have Sensei, who is he's trying to catch bugs and shit, and he can't fucking do it because they freak him the fuck out.
Yeah, Naru bust open a ball. She was keeping a bunch of bugs in this Pokeball. Just blatantly, she had a Pokeball and she repurposed it as a bug holding device, which
Was
is
it actually a Pokeball?
yeah, it was actually
I'm pretty sure that it is a little thing designed for holding bugs. I think, or it could just be one of those things like from the gumball machine.
Yeah, I think it's like a gumball machine thing. I think that's what that was.
I think the translation did a stronger nod towards Pokemon, but whatever.
Okay. Whatever.
But in any case, yeah, it busts open and all these bugs start filling the room, and Sensei, of course, freaks the fuck out like anyone would. And starts swinging a stick to hopefully get them to get the fuck out, like a broom or whatever. He's trying to get them to fly out the open door. And they're like, don't fucking do that, because... And then, like, stink lines fill the room, and they're like, yeah, they secrete a stink when they get scared. And he's just like, and then they just calmly walk up with a bottle and collect them all, and just seal it up, and they're like, okay, that's dealt with. See, it's that easy.
Bug to collect.
Right.
Right. Thanks, Naru. You're
asshole.
Asshole. But yeah, so like there is a lot of that stuff. Like, of course, a little kid would collect bugs and just find that super neat and not be as grossed out. That is Naru's character.
Yeah, especially considering that they are kind of country bumpkin kids, and he is a city kid.
Yeah.
Like Sensei is a city kid, so like that type of shit that is not the shit he did as a kid.
Yeah.
So obviously that freaks him the fuck out. But like that shit would freak me the fuck out. Like I said, like I sympathize with that character more than I have, because there's just so many things about his character. I'm like, yeah, I do that. Yeah, I would miss that free throw. I would freak out over these bugs. Yeah, like this whole creative shit would drive me nuts.
And then there's that element of like he wanted to get a present.
Yeah.
And he's like, Naru likes bugs. I'll get bugs. And some kids are trying to get bugs, and he's like, hey, let me use your net. And they're like, no. And he's like, fine, whatever. And he climbs up a ladder to grab a beetle, and then he stares at it for a bit, and he's like, give me your net. Because he won't even touch it. It's pretty good. It's just like all of the way the characters interact with each other is really good. It doesn't get overly self-serious. It doesn't get overly cute. It's a very balanced anime, and I like it a lot.
Yeah. Like I said, this is actually out of like the 8 shows I watched, this is easily, well, I would say almost easily, because there's one other one I really, really liked, but this is definitely my favorite out of all the shows I've watched this season.
Bob, what do you think about Barakamon?
Yeah, that's to say it's probably is my favorite this season. Like it and Nozaki are pretty high up there, but I'd say this beats it out a little bit just because all the characters are so good.
Yeah, I think the thing that works for me more in Barakamon than Nozaki. Not that Nozaki isn't good. I would love to watch the rest of it. I just haven't fucking made the time. Destiny. 97 hours are gone. But in any case, fucking...
Bitter much, Dan?
Yes.
Where's that review at?
Actually, it's in the internet. But I gotta put out the Abe's Odyssey one first because I owe people reviews.
Do you like Mafia or?
You'll see. It'll be in the review. But in any case, a fucking So the reason why Barakamon is better than Nozaki-kun is because not only does it have the humor, not only does it have the cuteness, it may not be as funny. Mm-hmm. It is pretty damn near it, and it emotionally delivers more. Yeah. The characters also seem more realistic.
Yeah, definitely. Also, Nozaki-kun, at least for me, like, it started repeating jokes and things, just like certain characters interacting, it was just kind of like the same jokes. They were still funny, but still it was like repeating those jokes. Where with these characters, it was always something different with them.
Yeah, you never really see them repeat a gag.
Yeah, right. And if they did repeat, like Tama kind of had like the yaoi gag a few times, but it was always building onto it, and it was always a different variation of it.
And it changes, and this is the number one complaint of a lot of fiction, it changes the state of the person when it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because she's increasingly troubled, or angry at them, and it just her emotional state changes as she keeps finding men grasping each other.
Yeah, and
struggling.
So they are people,
and yet they're fucking I love that the middle school girls are also fucking deviants. Last anecdote, they're fucking. He is being taught by an elder oh, your water heater's broken. Okay, well get some wood and you heat it up in this fucking fireplace, and they'll heat up the water so you can take a hot bath. He's like, oh cool, and then the grandpa or the village leader, someone's like, oh yeah, Naru would help me with that. Or Naru came up and she noted that.
Naru's like, I help my grandpa with that.
I keep a look on the fire while he does that. And he's like, oh, cool, can you do that for me? And she's like, sure. And he's like, thanks. And then he starts taking a bath. And Tama and fucking Miwa come by, and they just see her doing that, and they're like, man, he's taking advantage of that kid. And they slide open the door and just stare at him and is like, what do you think you're doing? Taking advantage of this kid like this? For revenge, we're gonna stare at your naked body.
Yeah, basically, they're like, it's like you probably want some girls to come by here and like peek on you and
Yeah,
shit.
and he's just like,
would you leave already?
yeah, it's just funny how terse he deals with them and how like stoic he is. They're like, yeah, you probably want us to see your naked body. And he's like, I'm not a flasher. It's like, how much he's like, get the fuck out of here.
I love how just I am not dealing with this shit. He is like, 'cause at first he's a bit more spastic towards them, but after a while he kind of gets into the rhythm of dealing with them.
He sort of understands them and what they're coming from, except for like the Fujoshi thing, the Fujoshi.
Yeah, because he never actually figures out what her deal is
because it's an internal thing.
Yeah,
Right.
And God, just I love this anime so much. This was such a good fucking anime.
So you're just laughing over.
Oh yeah.
Like I think this may get stuck in my top 20 at least. Like this is like I think this may have bumped something off of a list for me. Like that's that damn good.
Yeah, I'm rather fond of it as well.
Yeah.
I gotta let you know, I watched Terror in Resonance before Barakamon, just like Jeff here.
I did the same.
Part of me was like, man, fuck it. I don't even fucking like anime anymore. after the first season of content and now this, I'm like, oh, fucking WeeaBoots. It's wrong. We need to change the format. Something's terrible about this.
Or maybe anime is just terrible most of the time.
I'm starting to wonder, but, like, Barakamon really made me like, yeah, Barakamon. It's great. Mm-hmm. This is a story that is told properly and interestingly, and in a way that isn't over the top stupid just because it can. Like, I like well written fiction with decent, authentic characters. Like, not realistic in the super grounded whatever, but like they're genuine characters.
Yeah.
They aren't just 2D people.
Yeah, they aren't just a couple of stockpile archetypes.
They aren't the hardened cop who got taken out of the force and thrown into archives.
At least, like even the rival character in this.
Oh yeah, even he's got some.
Like you find out that he's not upset that he was able or that he wasn't able to beat the sensei. He just wants Sensei to go back the way he used to be
because that was a point of reference he used as an anchor, as an artist.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's.
Like, that was a great moment for him. And he actually keeps that to himself because he doesn't want to admit that. And, just all these characters are very well realized. Like all of them feel genuine. You could tell, like, a lot went into the writing for the series and the characters and making them all balance and mesh well. And just all the different interactions just work so well. And the characters all play off of each other so extremely well. So just Barakamon, it's fucking amazing, and you really fucking should watch this shit. Like, give it like a month, though, to forget everything we've talked about, so that way you can experience all these jokes fresh and, like, and not have any of them ruined. Be like,
maybe I should do a shittier job of telling these anecdotes, because if I did a shittier job, then they would watch it and be like, hey, that was funnier than he said.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to capture most of it, but it's probably a mistake.
It's a surprise. Like, Funimation, usually they get garbage. They typically will just choose, like, some of the worst shows every season.
Look, man, Attack on Titan is the Walking Dead of Japan.
They didn't get that.
They did.
Not for streaming, where it first came out.
Maybe not when it first came out. It's available.
Yeah, no, they got it for afterwards. Like they weren't on there like on board when it first hit.
Okay.
That was like
simulcast.
Yeah, simulcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I was about to say, like they didn't get Attack on Titan. I'm like, bullshit, I have those box sets, you lying son of a bitch.
I'm saying, they just, usually for simulcast, they get some of the worst garbage. They're just like, which one has, like, the most blatant fan service? Okay,
what has, like, the most violence, what's, like, the most shonen, and what has the biggest tits in it? Okay, that, let's go.
Baka no Test.
Occasionally they do get some pretty good stuff, like, I would say I buy at least 3 Funimation releases a year.
All 3 of which are different editions of Attack on Titan.
And DBZ.
The only DBZ thing I bought this year, goddamn, was Battle of Gods.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's really redeeming. You've redeemed yourself. That isn't gross at all.
How many other DBZ releases were there this year?
I don't know, like 15 or some shit.
Okay.
I fucking lost
every
count.
year. Come on.
I was just making sure that it wasn't like, well, it was only that one.
I lost count in the drunken haze of it all.
And then Barakamon, it just brings you back to light to be like, anime, it's good.
Yeah, like I can't. There are a few shows that I have enjoyed this much. Whew, goddamn.
So Jeff,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you would agree Barakamon's good.
No, I hate it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well,
I'm
fuck you.
I'm
You're
gonna-
off the podcast.
I'm gonna lie then. Let's pretend for a moment. You like Barakamon.
No, I
You really did?
no, I.
I was gonna say, we're gonna have a problem, dude. You're like sitting right behind the window. I can push you out of it.
Oh no! It falls 2 feet.
Well, it's not really it's the drop. It's the lacerations from the cut glass. It's really gonna fuck him up.
I've seen his hand. His hand survived just fine.
Yeah, but I mean, if we can just get a good artery nick, we'll be fine.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we'll be fine. He won't.
So what I was gonna say is, you know what anime is better than Barakamon?
Nichijou.
Nichijou.
I've been trying to think of a way to
Slide
segue
that
to
in.
that. Yeah, we should do one of our next podcasts where we just talk about how awesome Nichijou is, and then scold Jay for not having watched it yet.
Okay. That sounds.
He doesn't
like
even
gold.
get a chance to watch it before this.
Because we're recording
right
this
now.
right after this. Sounds good to me.
You motherfuckers.
I'll pull up the episodes on my phone, and then you and I can watch them. And then since Jay's sitting across from us,
He'll just hear it
We'll
and
just-
be like, I don't
yeah.
know Japanese. So.
we'll just laugh about it.
Yeah, I'm just going to rip your dicks off and then feed your dick to Jeff and then Jeff's dick to you.
That sounds gay.
Yeah, you
you-
faggots.
Damn it. No!